Hi, how you doing? I am regularly asked whether or not a machine will sew leather and whether it will sew canvas and can they sew bags. So if you have got a 15 class machine, either a Singer 15 or something similar to it, or an old all metal zigzag which has got a 15 class hook, then have a look at this video. This will give you a couple of ideas of modifications you can do that will increase the power and the strength of your machine. Good luck. Hope you like it. This machine is a 15 class machine, the same as yours. You'll recognize the hook. So that's the hook mechanism in there. And you can see this is the hook and the bobbin case. One of the problems sewing with heavier fabric and heavier thread is the angle. So this is the point of the hook, and underneath here, this angle, the thread, when the thread is caught by the hook, it is pulled around that angle and that pulls it down. When you buy this hook, there are some sharp edges on here, and if you are using thicker thread and to go through stronger materials, there is a lot of friction and the edges here can catch and can cut through the thread. So the first modification you need to do is to smooth off and round, make the edges round and smooth under here. But be careful, do not damage the hook. The point of the hook is important. Do not damage it. But this bit here needs to be round and smooth so it will do less harm to the thread. Another problem with higher resistance fabrics and threads is the power of the torque being transferred from the motor into the drive of the machine. On a normal drive, normally the pulley goes to here, the belt goes to here on the pulley, but now it goes to here. And you can see here, with a grinder, we've cut a groove in the wheel so that the motor is now driving much further out, so it has much more power and it travels more slowly. We also had to move the motor slightly further back. We did that by putting a bend in here and another bend in here so that we could move the motor. Now I know your machines are not motor driven, but just in case you get one, it's good to know. But we can do something similar with a treadle. This machine is more like your treadle machine. So you have a big hand wheel like this. So it's possible to cut a groove in the hand wheel. If you have somebody with a grinder or somebody with a lathe, then you can get them to cut a groove for the belt in the outside of the hand wheel. And the distance is not so far, it's maybe 20 millimeters, so there shouldn't be a problem with the belt coming up from your treadle table to go onto this groove instead of this one. Another problem with to get a stronger machine is the presser foot, and that is how much force the foot pushes down on the fabric. With the normal spring it may not be enough, and the foot will jump as the fabric lifts with the needle. It will lift the foot, so we need to increase the strength on that. So we have a look inside, and this is a 15, so this is an actual Singer 15. We can see this is the spring. The spring comes out quite easily, and then we should be able to push the spring up. So that's the spring from the 15. This spring is from a Singer 20U, which is available online and is not very expensive. So you'll find this spring doesn't fit in there. You can't push it down. So we need to change how we fit it. And to do that, we're going to need to take out the presser foot bar. So we need to remove the foot, and then we need to loosen this screw, and then that should release the presser foot bar. So this one is loose. Sometimes they are tighter than that, and they may need a little tap just to get them moving. And we slide the presser foot bar up and out just to there. Then we can take the spring and fit it on the bottom and push it up until it is very tight. And then we push the bar back down. Back down to the bottom and through the hole. Once the spring is in, we then push the bar down close to the bottom, and we can fit the foot back on. And once the foot is on, we can now use the foot, wiggle it all the way down till it is on the bottom. And we can use the toe of the foot to make sure that we line up the hole with the needle. We then need to hold the foot down, and with this handle we need to just lift very slightly so that we lift this piece. It needs to come up about 2 millimeters, but the foot has to stay touching the bed. So hold the foot to the bed, lift that till it comes up about 2 or 3 millimeters, and then we tighten that. So nip it up first and then make it tight. And then there should be a little bit of loose here, but when you lift, it should try to come up. Okay, now the spring will be jamming at the top until we get this piece in. So we can now fit this piece. It will be easy to start with until it touches the spring. And then when it touches the spring, there you go, we now need to pull the spring down with our other hand so it doesn't twist, and then screw that all the way to the bottom. And then we can release the spring and try to make sure we get the spring in the center and in the center at the bottom, so it is as straight as it can be. And as long as the hole lines up with the needle, there is a little bit of loose here, and the spring is lined up, you should now have good movement of the presser foot, and that will be now much stronger than it was before when it just had the small spring. So they are 3 simple modifications, and all you need to do is buy the spring or get the spring from somewhere, and then you can increase the power of a 15 class machine. If you're not able to get a spring like this for a 20U or similar, then another way to do it, so if this is your presser foot bar, this is a nut that has had the thread removed on the inside with the drill so that it fits over there. So if we drop that over there and then we put the original spring on top, then that gives us extra pressure because it will be more compressed. So that is a way that you can improve the strength of the presser foot without having to buy a spring if you cannot find a spring. So that's how it looks with the foot fitted in there the nut. And again, it means the spring now can give us a little bit more power. We can't put another nut in there because the spring would be too compressed. So that is the limit. So there are a number of ways that you can increase the strength of the machine to be able to sew thicker fabrics and leathers. But it's also important to make sure you get a needle, strong needles, size 18 or size 20, and leather point needles if you are sewing leather. The leather point needle cuts through the leather much easier than a normal needle. Good luck.